scout can sort of peek this, get the info, and then your soldier that's healthy can go in based off the info that they relay. So it's just better if your scouts are still, trying to collect info. If you're trying to push out of last, depends where you're allocating people, but usually I'm having scouts up top. I just really like this spot because once you're here, you can kind of like get a sense for where their combo is, and you can get a good vision of like most of the relevant positions. Like they're either going to be on top of the point or kind of like on bats or kind of around there. And if they're not in those spots, then either you're taking second for free or you're like aware already that there's some weird shit going on. Like, okay, why is no one here? Like, are they trying to rush big door? Are they trying to back cap? What's going on? So if I'm up top as the scout, I'm trying to just like get through here without insta-giving. A lot of times that's like the most important thing is like your scouts with beam can tank quite a few shots, but if they just rush forward into like people's faces, they're gonna die because they're gonna take 100 damage rocket turning this corner or a pipe in the face or a sticky or something. So um I think a lot of it is you kind of just want to like get through and kind of be focusing really on the dodging and staying alive, using like spots like this to sort of wait out some of the spam. Maybe you jump on these crates, things like this, just taking it very slow and methodical, um, focusing on surviving and spotting stuff, not trying to like rush this and get the first kill or whatever. Um, so I'd say that's kind of the mindset on this map in general and pushing out at last. If they're down players, you can move maybe a little bit quicker. You may want to send someone like, maybe one of your scouts has a time to like get through here or something. Get behind, but one of the most important things is just spot all the enemy players and then start the cap. So it's really not necessarily about getting kills at all. You should only really be like having to get kills if you're maybe pushing at like a weird time because they've already like respawned and set up, or you're pushing because you have ad, and then in that case you just kind of like can pop the Uber. So anytime you're like feeling like you have to fight their entire team on second, that may be indicating that you guys were too slow to push out in the first place, because usually you're going to be prompted to push off of a meaningful advantage, whether it be picks on, multiple combat classes, their demo, their medic, Uber ad, something like that. So, yeah, I guess usually scouts up top with heals, you got pretty good positioning, decent amount of space to dodge around, good vision. I feel like it should be somewhat straightforward. Another thing that can be going wrong is if your scouts are off-classing on last and they're slow to swap, that can prevent them from like getting in that position in time or meaning too much resistance. Another thing that's relevant is like if you just got 2 fresh picks on last, how much time are you maybe wasting going river when you could have just gone, half the distance and gone out by just going straight into lobby, and you're just already through and they haven't even spawned yet. All you have to do is, bait out a trap, get a guy in, and now they're basically forced to leave. So, routing can be a thing that will just allow you to meet less resistance. Reacting quickly to getting kills so that you swap your off classes. And then beyond that, just sort of like having a methodical approach to pushing like up top, so you're not just like running right into the soldier, because this soldier can 2-rocket you, so a lot of it is just about like baiting out that spam, and then once he's not loaded, then you can push him off and just like taking that one step at a time, instead of just like you come up here, there's a guy on this ledge that has taken 0 damage and you're expecting that you're just going to be able to like insta kill him. That might not really be as feasible as you might think, but if you kind of are slowly bullying him out and just getting rehealed, that guy's losing that fight the longer it goes on, because their med should not be allowed to just like sit here tanking him. So I don't know. Those would be some of the things to look for, I guess.
Okay, that's helpful. That yeah also just helps like uh structure my expectations, like what I should be expecting
Hmm.
my scouts to be doing to like allow me to eventually peek out a shutter if I'm watching shutter and baby door.
Yeah. Potentially, this is an area where a lot of demos kind of go wrong because they just like sit here and just watch sticky traps. But
Mm-hmm.
like trapping baby door is important, but if you ever peek and then you can see there's literally no one there, it kind of
Yeah,
frees you up from having to just sit here watching this door, you know? So I
yeah,
think it's worth you trying to peek the door a little bit more than you might be used to. You know, dead a sticky here. If you even put like one sticky on this soldier or one pipe on him, or, another thing that you guys can look for is this door is quite wide. So your players that are up top could like spot the trap and say like, oh, left side is free. And then you walk in. Just, keep in mind it's like left from lobby's perspective because all they really have to do is clear like this section of it and then you can get past the trap. You don't need to like walk through the middle of this door and have it fully perfectly cleared. You could walk through on one of the edges and get in once just like a couple of the stickies are moved. You know what I mean? So
mm-hmm.
there's a lot more potential for you to get in and like contribute to that fight. And I think it's something that you should sort of limit test a little bit on because if you're pushing off of two picks and then you have two people just sitting in lobby, well, you're actually 4v4ing because two of your people aren't participating.
Yeah. Well, I'm never just like in lobby. I'm like I have a trap
Hmm.
in baby door maybe that I'm like peeking shutter to see,
Hmm.
but I guess my question was more like about when I'm like actually like good to go and like walk out of shutter.
Right.
Um, in
I
terms
mean,
of
you're
like
good to
based off the
go.
positioning of the rest of my team.
Yeah. Well, ideally, you're, in lobby, and it's kind of like as your team is kind of like passing that section, you're kind of looking for that peak because if these guys look at you, your team gets in up top. If they ignore you, you're hitting this guy in the back. So a lot of times you want this to be somewhat like simultaneous. So just
Okay.
spotting that time because like if your team is still on last and they just start going river and you come in here and you start peaking immediately, um, that could be fine. You just got to be cautious about it. But if you get weak or you get rushed and your team hasn't even like climbed river yet, um, you might be going too early. Uh, so yeah,
Okay.
just thinking up that timing, I think can go a long way. But yeah, so is that it for the gully questions? Or were there any other gully wash?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Um, I'll take that as a no, and we can go into the demo. All right. Okay, so you've got fast rollout going on, kind of into a weird angle. I guess you're trying to spam the medic and choke. If you shoot that rocket 1 second earlier, you might actually splash the scouts. So just, something that could be an easy tweak to get a little more value out of that. So what's the setup looking like? You've got one soldier far left, demo and soldier on left, and then scout on rock, the other one on roof. Okay. So it looks like to me you guys are very left stacked on this. So your scout here needs to just be careful not to isolate himself and die. Your scout here also needs to a common thing that will happen here is that your whole combo will be like crossing and committed over here, and this scout is like lagging behind. So if you're ever doing like a hard left shove, which I can't quite tell if that's what this is about to be, your combo scout potentially could be getting on the roof or like moving towards your medic a little bit earlier here. A little bit of damage on the demo. Okay. So your med is still on the left here. Your scouts are on the roof. Your scout gets bombed. He's half HP. So now you have 5 people here and one guy here isolated with half HP. That's a little bit dangerous. Oh, and then your scout is lagging behind. So it's kind of both the things that I, was worried about end up happening here. This scout being so like far behind the rotation becomes pretty vulnerable. If they just shove the point, he can get cut off and weak. So now you're in a 5v6 because you have a scout out of the fight. So this would be a great time for a fade bomb or something to stall them if possible. They're still just bombing up. Looks like your scout doesn't see it. So sometimes on this left wrap, your scout's best option is to climb these rails and get on this roof because then you have much better vision of the roof. If you get on this section, this guy is going to be able to jump over you. So they just kind of nuke you in this corner, and your scout wasn't even kind of prepared for it. So now you lose 3, and you're not going to get the med. You have a scout and soldier to live, but probably not going to be able to defend second, so probably should already be going engineer on last. All this pistoling is completely pointless. You could have already had your sentry going up. So your sentry, your NG is now spawning. They're already moving. They're already like through 5. So it would have been nice to have a sentry already. They're trying to get in. You have a heavy. Your soldier jumps over here. It's just fighting a 1v1. This death isn't really valuable to your team unless you get this pick. I mean, that could be good. But really what your team needed here is a force. So dying and not getting a force is kind of the worst of both worlds because now they have number advantage and they still haven't popped. So that death ends up being pretty bad. If you are ever really slow to set up your last hold, get out a sniper. Because the sniper can at least almost guarantee that they have to pop. The heavy, the lack of a sentry and having a heavy means that they just get to walk in for free. So, I mean, this is already a pretty rough round in terms of coming back here. You do get 1 pick, but they're already in your nest before they've even Ubered. So they finally pop now. You have a couple picks. Your demo needed to have the point trapped because now he's going to get pushed by an Uber. And so all they have to do is just tunnel your demo and then it's GG. So, yeah, you got forced in spawn, so you can't cap. So they just start capping. They should have capped while the Uber was pushing you, to be honest. So they kind of beefed this one, actually. You guys barely managed to hold on, but yeah. Most important thing here is just you need to set up on last earlier. Sniper, if you don't have time, just so you can guarantee the force. They're feeding for last. Okay, you get a couple kills. They got 2 late spawners. You spot the soldier. Spot the other soldier. Okay, they're all in front. Start the cap. This whole time that you're like pushing out here and like chasing in this direction, you could have been chasing them while moving to the point and just starting this cap sooner because potentially you could be denying one of their scouts here. You could have been denying the soldier. So just have a higher emphasis on like positioning towards the cap. A lot of times as a combo scout, you're going to want to kind of like do 2 things at once. You want to be getting positioning while pressuring the guy out or getting cap time while you're, moving forward or covering your teammates, things like that. So that would have simplified this a little bit. I will check though. I'm not sure why your medic was alone because I think multiple people were pushing out of last there. Okay. So your med is 80 HP. Your scout goes through 1 door. Your soldier splits. So you already have another soldier alive. Okay. So this is potentially a case where Hood is like overcompensating, covering a flank. Your roamer is alive and you have a spawner coming up soon. Potentially you might just want your flank players to clear this and you just like really support your combo getting in right now. It's a very common like mistake is this overcompensation thing. Like you just split completely to the other side of the map and somehow that leads to your medic being alone. I don't think your medic should have hesitated this long though getting through the door. That was a little weird. The safest place for your medic and scout to be are together. So if your scout is here, your med should try to be there too. But the moment you guys split up, you're creating this big gap that they can close in. So I generally will lean towards trusting your scout and let it be your scout's fault that you die. But they're isolating yourself. It's kind of your fault to die. So yeah. So now you guys committed to this. You're going to have late deaths as a result. The moment your med died, you should have recognized that long term you're losing this fight. So any late deaths, they're just going to roll off that into last. So you guys couldn't really afford any more deaths there. So you're holding last. No traps on the point or on the chokes that they're pushing. So they just get in for free. This time you do have the sniper, but they're just flooding in basically. Okay. So let me just go quickly back to your demo man's POV here because I want to see what he did in reaction to your medic and scout dying. So your medic and scout died. You're retreating out of rollout. So something you should always be like considering is that they might know that you're trapping this side of the map So they're going to avoid coming this side of the map, right? So sometimes what you have to do is you trap this, but then you sort of like move more central. Because from their perspective, they heard your stickies going up, right? So they're just like, they're trying to choose the path to evade you, and you made it very easy for them. Ideally, if you would have, you know, maybe got a few stickies on point, maybe could be spamming pipes on them at the entrance. You could be buying time, essentially. That's really all you guys needed to do here, because your med was spawning soon. The other team didn't have Uber yet. You know, you guys can be busting out heavies and snipers and stuff. So I think this should have been sort of a stall play rather than like bomb into them. It's happened twice now where your soldier just like alone is bombing into them over here, and he's died both times for it. So just something else to be aware of. I think that a lot of times that's resulting in a feed, so you might want to either do a fade or spam them, or if you really need everyone to commit, then you guys need to just commit to that collapse, because right now it's just not working. Okay, next mid, your soldier's on the right this time. Pretty good spam going on over there. Okay, so your mid's playing a little more central this time. It'll be a little easier to heal your scouts. Okay. They're all just sitting in this choke. So sometimes if you see them like this is a really good time to fade, because that just keeps them there, keeps them contained, because they'll just hesitate a little bit. So sometimes when you have positioning, one of the best ways to maintain it is not to just like stand on roof, but to like fade bomb them so that they hold S and they just keep conceding the ground. But if you guys stay on the roof, now this guy's going to counter jump you, right? And their demo is going to start shooting you. And then you're going to potentially start losing roof control. So that bomb right there was pretty good. It came in a bit later than I would have liked, because that soldier did have the opportunity to bomb you. But you see how once you faded, they're like out choke now. So it worked out perfectly. You actually bait this guy in a little bit. Okay, their med died. So you got that med. Your med should be running, because they might try all in. You should not be committing to this fight. This is complete greed. Because even if this guy doesn't kill you, the 4 other people that are trying to get in here are going to kill you. So you should have been out long ago there with your medic. So now you guys have to concede mid. This scout is going to keep chasing. So you spotted him, thankfully. But here comes the chase. Keep running if you can. You managed to get Uber. Okay, so you managed to stall it out. This demo's kind of caught now. You guys could be hunting this guy down. Then you got massive ad. You have a soldier pick, so you should try to take mid for free. And this demo's like completely out of ammo, so you should be really trying to pressure him out. Going IT here could potentially work, but why go IT when you have the guaranteed kill in the demo right here? Like, you guys are making this a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. So we'll see how this goes. But this could be huge. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a feast. So you get the soldier, you get the demo. It ends up working out. That demo potentially could have jumped away. That's the only thing there is like, you gave him a chance to escape. So you have 2 picks now. You guys could be pushing off this right now. They do not have Uber yet. This guy's feeding in sewer. You guys should be pouncing on this. You guys are playing as if they have Uber already. So I think you miscounted the Ubers here. You have 3 picks right now, and they're at 50%, and you guys are like staying on mid. So you lost track of their Uber here, I guess. Now you're trying to push, and now their Uber actually is a threat. So, and their spawners are back. So it's a little weird, but you have some picks to work with, so you have room to go for this. The scout needed to die. Their meds split up. This is a good time to maybe look for other kills, but I think their Uber's too big of a threat now. Okay, you managed to live. Where's the traps? No traps? You just retreated out of the choke and didn't lay a single sticky. Doesn't make any sense. You could have stalled them here at this choke for a few seconds, then your spawners would be up and you guys would almost have Uber. So let's look at this. Anytime you're retreating, you should really be #1 priority. Reload your stickies and put up a trap.
Okay.
It's just so tempting to reload pipes or to just not focus on the trap. But like right now, just notice this. If you'd be reloading stickies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 stickies loaded and not a single one on the door. What I would have rather seen is like after your first or second sticky, you start trapping the door. It's better to have 2 stickies stalling them than 0 stickies. and no stickies loaded. Or it's better to have 2 stickies out on the door and none loaded than 8 stickies loaded and none on the door. Because it's all about buying time. So right here, you just reloaded 2 stickies, just throw those on the ground or on these
Okay.
walls or anything. And then you can, spam your pipes at them and you're just going to stall them. Because this demo would be stuck here. He's going to wait for a scout. Then the scout has to wait here and he has to start clearing stickies. And then they're just going to be stuck right there for a little bit longer. This guy might come in as a feed. Your scout gets that kill and now it's 3v3. Just things like that are opportunities that you're not really giving your team the chance for. Fast rel into a force. Okay, nice. You guys have Uber, so you guys should be basically going in right now because they're going to try and salvage this Uber. You guys just pop, go into their face, and wipe them. You're waiting quite a long time here. Hopefully no one dies as a result of this. Your flank players are going to die. You get the med. They have a lot of cap time, so probably best to clean up these people that are in. If they had no cap time, I would honestly just ignore this guy and just go forward. But there's a back cap threat. Here they're coming in once again for the collapse. Your med is quite weak. Another one coming in for the collapse. He gets your med. So it seems like a couple times maybe you guys aren't anticipating the collapse. Let me look at your med POV here to see when you potentially could have escaped or, maybe you could have bunkered in their sewer or something like that. So you guys Uber. Your scout's over here killing their med. So there's people behind you. So the most dangerous place to retreat probably right now is like in the middle of the point. If you're going to retreat somewhere, you should probably retreat either far away from them, like over here, so you can keep them like away from you, or bunker into sewer. But retreating like here in the middle of the point when there's people behind you, now you're surrounded because there's a scout on your left, there's a scout on your right, and there's a soldier potentially behind you as well. And then you were here with 40 HP, and they still had people alive sacking. You could have kept baiting this and backed up more until you were sure that it was safe. Because that was a very avoidable death, and you guys would have, 25 ad pushing last or something right now. Okay, so just going to be a hold probably. You should know that they have like slight ad. You guys aren't really building at all. So their ad is growing. So anytime I'm on this side here, potentially, I am not sitting here. Because if they just blind popped in, you'd get caught. So your med realistically should be near an exit just to be extra safe. And you should never really be taking steps away from the exit either. Every time you step this way, it makes me nervous that you're going to get caught by an Uber. So it's better just for like, avoiding any disaster. You never give them that chance to catch you until you get Uber. Okay, so you guys get Uber. They didn't opt to go off it, so you have a last to break now. Let's see what you guys opt to do. A little bit of pressure in lobby. So, oh, you get sniped. Now they shove into lobby, counter sack. They get 2 picks. Still potentially holdable. So you guys are out to choke. Honestly, I would not be this afraid. When I still have Uber and 2 scouts and a soldier still alive, I would probably still feel somewhat confident holding my ground because you can still, get a force on them and buy time for your spawners.
Would it be worth exchanging here, even if we're down 2?
If it's a
Instead of
good
just 1?
exchange, yeah, you could.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you guys are trying to hold your ground, but you're trying to retake ground that you should have already had. Like these guys should never have been able to bomb here because both your scouts should have been up here. Now you guys end up popping. Is this an exchange that you guys called for? I guess maybe it's just not super smooth because your med ends up falling down, dropping one of your scouts. Your other scout doesn't get that kill, so kind of a wasted Uber just because maybe the plan was a little rushed. I'm not sure. Okay, a little bit of a sewer play. It gets you 1 pick. Should have been 2, but, it's something. Oh, you get another pick. So you guys are doing a really good job of finding picks right now. It's really stalling them out. So now you have 2 picks. They still have big ad. You guys should be looking for a force right now. I know it can be scary to like attack a team that has Uber, but you should be able to spot how close they are and still get this force. And if they choose to play close, then it's an easy force, right? So demo though needs to be very, very careful because you're gonna be one of the only sitting ducks in a situation like this. So usually I would want my scout peeking in front or a soldier. So you guys just walk right into the Uber because no one spotted them. So you do need to be a little bit careful. Like your med and demo probably need to play like at this range and let your scout peek and be like, okay, yeah, we can still go for this. But if you all like blindly walk forward, you're just getting baited in. Okay, so you guys get punished by that Uber. You got another hiding play going on. This could be huge if you flank the demo. You guys did get forwards. They have time 6 on mid, so you immediately should have known that their whole team is, not with these people that are trying to spawn camp. So this should have been a flank already. Try to catch them in choke. Good rockets on the med. Good rocket jump. You get the med. Okay, cool. So now you guys have heal advantage. You got a heavy in the forwards. Oh, your med is still in there. I probably would have backspawned your med so that he can get everyone else through the doors. But I like the heavy staying in there because that's just going to make this really hard for them to fight without heals. But you nearly lost your demo because your med is staying in forwards. So, okay, you lose a soldier. Their med just spawned though. So you guys should know that you have 60 ad and heal advantage for a long, long time. Look where their medic is, at their choke. So you guys should be pretty confident to take this fight. These should be kills. Nice, nice. You got 3 kills? Okay. You saw the scout retreat roll out. Maybe he'll sneak for something, so you can just leave someone to defend last while you guys spot where they are. You guys see them all in front. Okay, everyone should move forward now. It's big ad for mid, and you're going to deny 3 of them. They didn't have any opportunity to off class, so they should all be right in front of you. This guy just feeds right into your face. He should not be able to get this force, but he does. Okay. One thing that was a little bit odd here was you guys it looked like you were moving towards sewer. I'm not sure why you guys were doing that because it's just a slower route into mid. I'm curious about your scout POV here. Why is this guy able to force you? Maybe just some missed shots. Okay, well, you guys get forced. They don't have Uber yet. You can take mid. Oh, your soldier fed. Their mid ran out IT. That should be a kill. Okay, so now you bunker again. Or just like tighten up, play heals. Okay. That's a good kill in the demo. Just one worrying thing here is like, why is your roamer dead before your Uber has entered mid? So let's see what happened there. Okay, so you're just diving into the face of a fully buffed scout, I guess. Your team hasn't even entered through sewer yet, so this is just way too fast. Deaths like this are what make them potentially a refight here. So you really want to avoid being this greedy. Because now the scout's like, oh, we just got a kill? Okay, now our risk tolerance goes way up. Now we potentially can stay. Your demo bombing here ends up fucking them, so that punishes them, but if your demo hadn't bombed, those scouts both stay in, and now you're looking at a team fight when that should have been a free mid. So yeah, just try not to give up those very avoidable deaths by rushing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just can you talk a little bit about how you generally approach pushing in the mid on Uberad when they know you're going to be pushing through? So I think it's probably it gets a misplay, but I think I called for going through sewer because I thought it would be a surprise play to try to Uber through there. Just to try to like catch stuff as opposed to struggling through mid and potentially getting forced and not really catching anything.
Okay. So just the specifics of that scenario was that there was only 3 of them alive and you knew they were all at choke. So I felt like you should have just known that if you just went choke directly, they wouldn't have enough resources to stop you from getting in. So just in that case alone, I think you didn't need it goes back to like that other play where it's like you guys could have just gone choke, but you decided to go IT. You're kind of overcomplicating it. Like your advantage is good enough that you don't need some like really crafty play. You can kind of just do something very straightforward. The crafty plays work sometimes. Like if you're, say they get a spawn wave on mid and they haven't gotten people in position fast enough to spot you crossing, then you can surprise them through sewer. But if they're like already retreated and they're out and you try to cross sewer, usually you're going to get spotted. Or if you try to come IT, usually they're going to see you. So a time when I might go for like a fast IT play might be if we're pushing out of last, they all left mid and no one is spotting us, and we already like have the point half capped. We start moving IT before they've even had a chance to like spot it, and then that's a surprise. Or
Okay.
similarly, they all left mid or they all left second, they all went to mid, or they're all like getting a really late spawn wave, so they haven't had the chance to like peek, and we're already like moving into sewer to surprise them. Yeah, so element of surprise a lot of times is just going to require that you get somewhere before they can see you getting there. And it's like they were still in choke as you guys are trying to go sewer. There's not really an opportunity for a surprise at that point. So I wouldn't,
That makes
I'm not
sense.
trying to discourage you from going for like these surprise plays, but a surprise needs to be a surprise. Like if they see you crossing, there's no more surprise there. So, but as far as like how I would push mid, um, almost always the most important question is how set up is the other team? Did they have time to get a spawn wave and get a sniper? Then we might just have to pop through. Are they down players? If no, we might just have to pop through. If they are, then we might be able to, set up like a fade and like methodically clear stickies, bait their bombs, take it slow. But if they're like set up, they have the sniper, they have 6 players, all buffed, all in position. A lot of times it's just like you got to pop through and make sure that all the lanes are being covered. So that might mean, your roamers in IT, your maybe you have like a flank scout and sewer, so they have no way of getting behind, and then you guys pop through choke or something. Like, it doesn't have to be super complicated, but usually for me, the question is always how set up is the enemy team? If they're set up, don't be greedy. Like, I think that's just a thing that's going to backfire on you a lot. If you try to take stuff for free, or you have people getting in alone when the other team is 6 up, and you already had ad, like don't overcomplicate it. Don't be greedy. Just use the Uber, be satisfied with a leapfrog, and let the enemy team make a mistake. That's
Hmm.
basically it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you guys now have 50 ad. You guys should be getting info right now. You guys are sitting here building. This whole time, your scout could have been spotting what their setup is. So you guys are about to Uber in blind. You pop in through 3. I'm not sure if you guys knew there was a sentry on the right or what, but you're Ubering in 3. Okay, you're crossing to the right to get the sentry. Your demo did not get reflashed. You did get the sentry. Trying to end on the right. Your demo does need to lock out that spawn, otherwise that sniper might get some shots on you. Okay, you managed to get the cap, but that felt really messy. So let's watch that one more time.
I don't think we knew about the
Hmm.
Sentry or wasn't calmed or
Yeah.
wasn't processed or whatever.
Yeah. So the best way to like avoid that happening is instead of standing on second, building all the way to 100%, while you guys are like buffing and preparing the push, your scout is like getting info. Like right here, this scout could take that 185, come to rollout and be like, all right, what's the situation? Oh, sentry on the right. Okay. Now I can use that information to set up a plan. And then it won't slow down your push whatsoever. Obviously, unless he dies, so be careful, don't get sniped, don't take a 1v1, but like you have 185. That's a pretty good margin for you to, peak a little bit. Okay, so the Uber comes in, your demo's getting juggled like crazy. Does not get reflashed on the jump, so that's pretty scary. If there's a sentry and you're bombing, I usually think this is going to be pretty bad. I usually would walk into a sentry, to be honest. Because if you get knocked back or something, this could go really, really bad. But at the very least, you should be Ubered right now. Because you easily could have just died right here. Okay. These guys are trying to get in on the right. Your flank out on the left. They have... Oh, this guy behind, and then everyone else really kind of in spawn. So good cap time. This soldier doesn't bomb your scout. Okay. This guy kind of threw. I don't know what that was all about. Okay, you get the round. Next mid. Fast rollout committed on the demo. Big rocket on his head. Oh, he's 30 HP. Is that going to get traded out? Oh, he got arrowed. So now you guys need to decide, are you staying or leaving? Demo gets arrowed or something. He's fucking weak again. You get the kill. Nice. So you got that kill and they have a soldier out of the fight. If you guys just hold height right now, you'll be good. I would like if your other scout was on the roof right now. Both your scouts end up on the low ground, but no one really pressured the height. Their demo's dead. So whenever the demo is dead, high ground should be like kind of free for you guys. So what I'm not liking is your combo scout staying on rock. So let's see this perspective here. Okay. So you come up, you see one soldier on the ground. He jumps away. You see both soldiers. So at this moment, you know both soldiers are right there. So you're in a good spot right now. The demo dies. And you see that soldier, and you stay on the ground. You really should have just gone right back onto the height after the demo died. Okay, but 5v4, this is still perfectly acceptable. Why is everyone out? You have a soldier rolling out. Okay, so I guess there's like a 4v4, but you guys were playing as if you were outnumbered. Because really all you had to do here was stall for your roamer to respawn, basically. So I don't think you guys should have been leaving. You should have just tried to stabilize. And it's like, you get a demo pick. I would think everyone at this point is like, okay, this is a good mid for us. We're winning this. And then you get this kill. So it's like, you got the demo and you got a soldier. So you guys should be good. So why do you guys end up leaving? Scout's 185. Your other scout is full HP and he's leaving. Sort of a good time for your flank scout to like rotate back to the beam. Because you were like already on the back foot, this scout doesn't get killed, and that was a free kill. You had 2 scouts alive, and this guy just lives with 10 HP. Should never be possible. Okay. Do you guys recall why you left on that? Despite having a demo and a soldier pick?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What happens when you die? If you're the main caller, how does that decision get made as a team? Are you still making the call, or is it being like delegated to someone else? Like, what happens, or is it
I'm
just
often making the
my
call
main
and then
caller's
sometimes I
dead,
get
so leave? Yeah. Go ahead.
no. I am often making the call to stay or leave, and then sometimes I get counter called. It like rightly so. If because there's like 5 seconds where I can't see stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's like looking bad when I died, I'll make a
Mm-hmm.
call. But then if something changes,
Mm-hmm.
it changes the situation. Someone will say like, no, like let's stay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay. Gotcha.
the reason
So.
we left there could have been that I misjudged the situation
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
thought it was worse than it was. It could have been something else. I don't really remember why.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So I guess the right call here. The moment you died, your team needed to get a trade, and they do. So right now, the most relevant thing that's happening is your spawner is on the way. So that's a call that you should be thinking about in long like team fights, is that sometimes whichever team gets spawners first when the numbers are even actually is going to win. So that's something you can potentially be saying. Like I would be saying like right now, everyone play to live, just wait for, our roamer to arrive, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, playing to live doesn't mean out. It could just mean, stand your ground and kind of don't commit to any crazy fights, something like that. So that would have been ideal there. So you guys leave mid when you didn't really have to. They're trying to push this, but their demo's a late spawner, so you guys should not be afraid of them whatsoever. You guys should be locking them out and stabilizing on second. Okay. So you can see a lot of them over near IT right now, probably. They're kind of just standing around. Okay, they end up going sewer. Okay, so where is your demo's really trying to challenge them head first. Be careful about this because look where everyone else on your team is and look where you are. So they could all just like pounce on you or run into you. Just anytime you're in a stalemate, it's so tempting as a demo to like meet them head on and to deny them. But I really want you to try to realize that you being baited forward plays into their hands because they're happy to die to kill you, you know? So just be very careful about these kinds of situations. Okay, you managed to pipe their med. Nice job. If this guy would have dead these two stickies though, you probably would have died. So, you know, it's a dangerous way to play. Okay, both meds end up dying. Now they're just all inning. All right, what's going on with this drop? Because I swear you guys know that guy's behind. So how is he allowed to come back in? So he high bombs, he goes behind into your rollout. Your scout knows he's there and you just killed their med, okay? You have two scouts alive. Your scout is on low ground, your other scout just has his back turned. Your med isn't looking at him either. Let me see what your med's looking at. This is like, there's only one way to fuck this up and you guys found it, basically. Like, you could have just popped for free here and it would have been acceptable because their med already died. But like both scouts not looking at the soldier, your med also not looking at him, and then doesn't pop when he just jumps, basically pencil jumps into your face. So yeah, I don't know. What's your guys like mindset there that's leading to this? Like, is it not straightforward that like we killed their med, so number one, expect them to feed. Number two, if we Uber, it's okay. Like, are those things not already kind of automatically in your mind?
I feel like they normally are
Okay.
for most of our team. I mean, Lamb definitely would have known like their med's dead. Like it's worth it to drop or worth it to pop.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that makes it harder. Okay. So they just all in and you guys lose. All right. Fast rollout. You deny their pack. They counter fast rollout. You get rolled. Okay. So you have 1 week, soldier. Arrow miss. Your demo's also a little bit weak. Your demo didn't get the pack either. And your soldier's jumping forward. So you guys are trying to buy time a little bit. A little bit of damage. Let's see if you can stabilize now. Good height. Presence from your scouts. Your scout might have over pushed that though. So you end up losing your scout there. Now they're bombing. Like, you got a scout kill. You lose a soldier. You lose another soldier. You lose your demo. Okay. So really where this all started going wrong was your scout overcommitting on the roof with no buff. Just kind of gave up that kill. Here you're on the roof. Pressuring this guy. That guy's out of the fight. You reset. So far, this looks fine. You reset to a decent position. This guy takes a little bit of damage, but you can't forget about this. If there's a demo who's about to shoot you in the side, you need to have like a route in mind that's going to allow you to get this kill while evading the demo. You can't just like bot at this guy and get shot in the side. And then, yeah, you died to a rocket, I think, from the side and a scout shooting you in the side. So you just tunneled a little too hard. So that death ends up being like the first domino that fell. Everything else was looking good. You know, you guys recovered from your roamer getting weak and you took high ground, so that was all fine. But the moment your scout just like tunneled a little too hard and didn't get that kill, you kind of just lose. So perhaps a route you could have potentially gone is like you drop down like this, kill him, and like cycle back this way or something like that, or you just let him go or kill him while moving away from their spam classes, something like that. The only other thing here is right at that moment when that scout is weak and you got that pack, this could have been another good time for a fade bomb. It goes again to what I was saying before, is like when their team is on the back foot, like they have weak players, they're giving up positioning. If you add in that fade bomb, it can just keep them there, keep them contained. So I would have liked when you had your 200 HP here to potentially look for that bomb. Okay. So you guys are running. Your med and scout split up. I guess you spawn an NG. So they should think it's even though, so you should have the last hold just by normal standards. Okay. Should be expecting a sack. One thing I don't particularly like here is your med is on the right and your sentry's on the left. So it doesn't really cover your med against a sack. So if you're ever like on even, I might want my medic to play slightly closer to the sentry gun instead. Just so you have that extra denial. If the sentry's like up here, yeah, I would say so. Like if the sentry is central, then you can be central as well. I'm not saying you have to be sitting next to the sentry, but like it gives you something to just have a little bit more safety net, basically. See this scout that just killed you? It would be impossible if there's a sentry near you, or who forced you. Yeah, so that's a very basic thing. So you guys get the counter. Okay. The first thing I want to see though is you had a soldier die immediately at the beginning of this, so I want to see what happened there. I guess you just see the opening, so you just go for it. A little bit of hesitation there. I was thinking you saw this and then you like rocket jumped off this and you like flanked them in lobby. But you kind of came in here and you're just like, oh, what a beautiful day. And then you just died. So I think there was a little bit of hesitation. You should have, if you're going to go for that play, die accomplishing something. Don't just die because you wandered somewhere because you had I don't know, like just a lapse in paying attention. Okay, so this guy then comes in and gets the force. Let me see what else was going on here. So you have traps on one, sentries on the left, your roamers on the left. So they do end up destroying your sentry here as well, I think. Do you have any traps right now? Trapping the point when you have a sentry is also a little bit weird. Okay. Okay, you get that kill. And then this guy just runs in. This is kind of silly. I guess he just runs in and no one sees it. Your scout gets shot by this guy and then just runs away. That is very bizarre. Okay. So they spam down your sentry from 5. They force you guys. This guy's finally gonna die. You guys force them in lobby. You lose a soldier for that. Okay. So they have a little bit of Uber left, but they're down 2. All you have to do is stall. Sticky's on the point. And maybe a heavy or something. And you guys are good. Okay. I don't like that both your scouts are like in deep trying to make plays right now. They should have just been supporting your demo and your medic here. But okay. It ends up working. You guys get on the med. Med's gonna die. So now their only play is to try to backcap or feed. So just make sure you have someone defending that. Okay, your roamer spawned. He can watch last. This guy's feeding year 1. Your scout dies. This guy dies. Okay, start the cap. Start the cap. Okay. How did your scout die? Because that should not be possible. You get the mid, nice. You're 85 HP. This guy's bombing. You just rushed in with 85 HP and got kind of miracle rocketed. So you didn't need to commit when you were that weak. That's it. You did enough damage that that guy's like guaranteed gonna die. So you can sort of like slow down the attack at that point and just make sure he dies. You know, get that little extra buff, bait out his rocket. You just didn't have to like rush it and risk dying there. Okay, so they're flooding in on second. Okay, so how does that happen? Because your demo's alive. This shouldn't be possible here either. So they're getting this spawn wave. Let's see. They're a
I
bit
turned
slow.
around for him when I shouldn't have.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So I didn't have stickies on the choke early enough, but I did eventually choke it, put
mhm.
stickies on it.
So you put one sticky there, two stickies. You dead? I don't know. I'm not sure why you dead that. You should be like, anytime you're gonna dead on a choke, you should be re-trapping it as you're deading. And now you're shooting this guy, and now they're just in for free. So yeah, right here, what you should have been doing is just like focused on this no matter what. If that guy gets in, you don't look at him. You just focus on this. Maybe you try to surf his rocket or whatever, but like you can't be letting them through this door. And honestly, sometimes I won't even dead this trap. I will just use it to stall them completely. Because that might be, it might be more valuable to do 0 damage but stall them than it is to potentially get a little bit of damage but they fled through the door.
Hmm.
I think that's something that it's the second time kind of where I'm mentioning this, that like you really need to just prioritize the choke and trust your team to deal with that guy that's in. So now you're the only one fighting second still. Your soldier fought a 1v1 in or IT. Everyone else is out. Like, you have no positioning. You just need to leave. Oh, actually, you have Uber. Okay, never mind. So now what you should be doing is trying to bait them in and take an Uber here. You have 70 ad. So your guy dying is, it's not ideal, but whatever. You still have Uber. You guys could look to pop Uber here or use your Uber as a threat. Looks like you're running forward. You guys pop. Okay, their combo should wipe here. So let's see the post-Uber positioning. You guys killed their med here. You still have a little bit of Uber left. You got a couple targets to kill. Where are you going to end the Uber? Uber ends in the middle of nowhere. This guy can collapse on you. 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 So you need to choose a better post-Uber positioning. If you're killing the med here, maybe you end in sewer or something and you can bunker in there. Maybe you kill him and you try to rotate back to height. Maybe anything else than this. You're in literally the lowest possible position you could be in, and there's 4 people surrounding you. So we'll see if they manage to get this collapse off. And of course, they do. So that should have been a round win basically off that Uber. Like you should be pushing their second right now, but now you're holding last just because of bad post Uber positioning. Okay, so holding last. What the hell? Found a random ass kill. Okay, so you have a kill in lobby. Are you guys peeking off this? Yeah. If he gets this, you could potentially do this. Your scout just charges in. If he gets this kill, you could do this. You just let that guy jump away with 60 HP. Unfortunate. So now just stop, basically. Hold last. You got the sentry up here. Okay. So you were asking earlier, like if the sentry's here, if you should be playing there. I think it's okay for you to stay on the right if you are more comfortable there. The sentry that's central can hit both sides, so I think it's not necessary for you to like be right in the middle. You'd still be relatively like supported by the sentry over here. So now that I see the setup, I think that's okay. It's just a problem if the sentry's in the left spawn and you're on the right. That's all. Unless you're like they're about to Uber in, but on evens, yeah, it's not how it should be. Okay, you guys get that pick. You hit a headshot, counter stack going in. Almost got the demo. Didn't work out. It happens. Soldier getting super weak in one. You live. Okay, just stabilize. What the fuck is this? Okay, so they just pop in off of that. You guys instantly counter pop. Okay. I'm curious if it would have been possible to milk this. If this was me, I would have probably been happy to drop my demo here, if I'm being honest. Or like milk it and risk my demo dying. Because this could have been full ad to push out a last. You still have a sentry gun, and you have like other people. I feel like it would have been better to have full ad here. I mean, we'll see if you guys manage to push out off this, but most likely now that you pop this, it's just gonna reset again. But I have no idea why they would do something like this when there's a sentry gun. Oh, nice trap kill. So kill the scout, no Ubers. Maybe you can do something to pressure out a last, but it might just be another reset.
There were a couple times where VO was egoing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that'll happen if there's an invite player in your game. Alright. So your guys' upper lobby get kind of nuked. Your scout charges in, your soldier's sacking. I mean, it's pretty decent pressure, so I am liking your attempts out of last so far. That was an insane jump. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I actually want to watch that. How the fuck?
Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Inside Ark's Twisted Mind. Speed shot. Wow. It's like a fucking jump map. Okay. Nice play. So now, just don't throw it away. Don't let them back cap. Don't let your med die. Nice. You get that kill. Okay. So there's one scout missing. You saw one of the scouts. One of the scouts, you have no idea where he is. Turns out he's hiding in IT. We'll see if you guys end up spotting this. Your med is kind of alone. Your scout finds him. Okay, you guys come back and pounce on this kill. Nice. So now they're down a scout. You guys have massive ad. You guys should be peeking mid, seeing if you can take it for free. You have the sniper, which should scare people off the roof. So this should be a free mid for you guys. But this is a feed. Your roamer jumps into their whole team. So that's the second time this has happened, where you guys are about to push mid, and you already have a pick, and then your roamer just dies too fast. Your flank players can get in sometimes, but they should be getting in to live and pull their people out of position. Trying to like one man into 5 healthy players is just a feed, and it's like I said before, it's gonna give these people a lot more confidence to potentially fight this now, because now it's like, okay, they're down a roamer, they have a sniper. You know, their punish isn't actually going to be as good. We can maybe get people to go behind and live and jump over their heads and like see how much these guys now want to fight this, whereas they would have been out if you just walked in and preserved your numbers here. Here comes another one. He goes for the sniper. Okay, you guys hold the Uber at least, but you lost 2 in the process. They really want to repush IT, because basically what they're thinking is that you guys might knowing that you have ad, you guys might rush or something forward and leave one guy to cap. So they're trying to see if they can intercept the cap, but they could not. They're all sitting in rollout now. You guys are peeking choke. So the way you should play this is your demo should just put every sticky he has into rollout. Because if you can force their medic to leave, everyone else is a free kill. Just keep laying carpets there. Okay, so they end up leaving off of rollout. They shift towards 1. Good damage. You guys just turn it into a sack, which makes sense if they're going to get that close to Uber. Okay, good kills there. So now, once again, you have a free Uber. If they decide to all in on you, just fucking pop, don't drop anyone, and you win the round. Does not look like they're going to all in. This guy wants to feed. Okay, free kill for you guys. This guy also does. The moment I see that guy peek, I'm literally going to chase that guy with the Uber. Because I just got a kill. I have a potential another free kill here. Their demo is still dead. Their med is still dead. If I get this kill, it's GG. Even though you're down numbers. This guy peeking gave you a potential another kill that you can just hunt for immediately. Like, you guys would have shredded this guy. But you guys opt to slow down. It's fine. But right now, you should be getting info. You're about to Uber into last blind again, I think. You had plenty of time to get info here. So I think Ubering in blind is okay if there's enough momentum, you know, because you knew where they retreated, so you can kind of like infer what their setup is going to look like, which doors might not be covered, etc. But if you guys are giving them time to get all their spawners, get all their setup, you really should be peaking. And most of the times you guys are pushing last so far, it's been on like pretty significant Uber ad. So you should really try not to Uber into last blind. Okay, you pop in 3, sentry on the right again, which is gonna have to go down late. Soldier on the left. You guys should get this soldier kill. I like the spam from rollout onto the sentry. Your scout should not be trying to get on the point until the sentry's down, though. Okay. So your scout died to the sentry. Your guy in rollout spammed the dispenser instead of the sentry. So, slightly wrong target choice there with the spam.
To be fair, he put it in front of the sentry to block the spam.
Is that what he did? Let me see.
That's
Yeah.
pretty silly.
You have a clear sight line to the sentry, so
Okay.
this is
my
a
bad.
deliberate choice. It looks like to shoot the dispenser. Just so you're aware, like that's what he wants. It's literally like just a thing to give you the chance of fucking up. So don't fall for it. You know, that's why there will be like a random teleporter somewhere, a random dispenser, because he's just trying to milk every little wasted piece of ammo that he can. So try not to fall for that. Yeah. So the sentry stays up for a long time. Finally, the sentry goes down. You still have 2 picks. Soldier is out of ammo. I don't know. Okay, you get the cap. Okay. So really just the 2 things there. Make sure you don't Uber in blind and make sure you guys spam the sentry. And that would have been like a really clean last push for you probably. Okay, so your roamer's doing a fast rollout. He gets hit a little bit. Your demo maybe a little slow. Okay. Coming into mid, doing some spam. Your soldier gets counter jump, so he's weak. Your other soldier jumps to the right. So what's the setup looking like? You got a few people kind of off to the right. You got your demo and med on the far left. So I would say this is maybe a little desynced because any damage these people are going to take is not going to be healable. Your soldier is jumping forward onto the roof. Kind of alone. If they just would have pounced on him, that could have been dangerous. Soldier's jumping off to the right. Doesn't have great health. Okay, now your setup looks a little bit more cohesive. You lose a scout. That's where you need that punish. You needed that trade. Oh wow, that demo didn't die either. So you lost the first person, but he died doing a lot of damage, or one of their players overextended, and you just let the guy that killed him go. So a trade there would have been really, really good. So like, let me watch maybe from like a scout perspective here. Or actually, this was a scout that died, I think. I'll just pause it like right when he dies and see who potentially sees him. That guy's rolled. Okay, so he just ate a bunch of pipes. That soldier's weak. Okay. So you have this scout on the roof, and there's that weak soldier. Okay, he can't quite get through these scouts. Your soldier potentially here could have bombed and gotten that kill. Your soldier on the other side, he also could have potentially bombed and gotten that kill. So you just unfortunately let that kill away. Then your soldier comes in, does a lot of damage here, and then you let these kills also slip away. So just a failure to close out a couple kills, but I feel like your scout on the roof shouldn't be insta-giving. Like, he was here with like 110. Maybe you should just get rebuffed there. Because you guys are doing a good job of getting the positioning. It just feels like you're not always super good at holding it. I would love to see your scouts cycling heals, meaning like you have one scout on the rock who's buffed maybe, and then you have one scout on the roof. Your scout on the roof takes damage, he falls back. Your scout on the rock goes forward, and you guys just sort of like cycle the healthy scout forward and back so that no one like has to insta-give like that. And then again, I don't see a lot of fade bombs happening. You guys have so many mids where you start off on the right foot, but then they come back. And just any like small thing you can do to keep them in that corner, like a fade bomb, I think could go a long way. Okay, so they overchase. You get a couple kills. Your med is really fucking weak though. You lose a scout. Your med went for resup, so not really gonna be likely. You guys can push out here, I feel like. Oof, you guys are really brute forcing your way through. It ends up working, but it's a little dangerous. But now, yeah, you need to lock them out. You shouldn't be shooting pipes right now. You should be sticking. So now you just stabilize. You don't really have anything meaningful to push off of. You do a good amount of damage, but what the fuck? So they just pop in instantly again. You guys counter pop. This would be a great time to have stickies behind them to like juggle them or something. So you ended up single deading that. If you put those two stickies there, let the mid walk onto it, you could have launched him into the skybox and then he would have been caught.
Mhm.
So you guys really try to chase that. You get the demo. They got a couple people in sewer. You should know this. These are kills. Get these kills in sewer now. Okay, good kill. This guy's feeding. Okay, you get that kill. This guy's also killable. Nice. Good bomb. So now they're 2 up. Just a soldier and medic. I think they're very catchable here. Your soldiers should be trying to go as fast as possible now to cut off this mid's exit. Just jump over their head. So that mid actually ends up getting away. I feel like, oh, actually, he dies. Okay, I'm not sure how. He could have run to their demo, but he decided to die, so you catch him. That's fine. So 60 ad. They got spawn waves, so you should already be thinking they could be on sniper, they could be on spy, they could have an NG, they could have a heavy, like all kinds of whack shit could be happening right now because they're gonna be desperate, right? They could
I
be
have a
sending
question.
Lakers IT. Yep, go ahead.
When should we? So say we killed like a bunch of them, or they're like 3 or 4 down,
Mhm.
and when we push into to mid from second. When should we be focused on stacking the cap instead of rolling into second immediately? Like leaving one person to cap, rolling into second, and like maybe trying to like lock down forward. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly gonna be based on spawns. So if you have fresh kills, then you might not need to stack. If, you're potentially denying spawns, then it might be worth stacking. If they get a spawn wave and you think you're like, how close are you to the door? Like, are you at choke when they get their spawn wave? Maybe you just keep going. You just catch them while they're like, kind of figuring out what their hold's going to be. If they get their spawns and you guys are like over here, they're probably going to be set up, so maybe you just slow down and make sure you deny that last guy and then you push as a team. A lot of it's just
all right.
based on, it's very similar to what I was talking about with pushing second to mid. It's like, how set up are they? How soon are their spawns going to be? Like, did they just get a spawn and you can still catch them, or have they been set up for a while so it's unlikely you're going to catch them, and you might just like waste your Uber or things like that. So, yeah, I think the two things mainly are just, are you going to deny anyone by stacking, like anyone of importance? Because like if they're med and soldiers and demo have already spawned and you're like stacking to deny one scout, um, maybe you would have been better off like trying to bully them out before they could set up on second, because now their soldiers are going to be fully buffed and bombing you by the time you get through. I don't know, stuff like that are kind of the things you want to consider. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it's just based on momentum, I guess. Like, just if we have the momentum, we can keep carrying it and we can win. If the game is going to slow down a little because the window of time has closed, then just recognizing that and being okay with approaching it differently. I think that's really all it is. If you try to like rush off momentum and it's too late, that's when potentially you're gonna run into some disasters. Um, okay, so you're peeking second with massive ad. Okay, good. Taking it methodical. Your soldier jumps through. Now you guys are walking to choke. Hopefully you don't pop here because they're all the way out. They do have a sniper. Oh, your scout died to spam. Okay. So one thing that is happening here is that you guys are 6 up, but as far as your combo is concerned, you have 2 players like they might as well have like gone AFK because they're just in IT. Sometimes it may be worth 6-manning here or like blobbing up here, or yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys would have needed to pressure sooner through the flank because your combo needed pressure relief here, and you guys are just in IT, and you're not really doing anything. Okay, this guy bombs. You get that kill. They're still just sitting on bats. You get another kill. So what you should be thinking right now is we still have ad. And you should be trying to run this Uber ad into last. Sniper's gonna roll out. This guy, you should not be respecting him. The sniper's like trying to shoot this. You should be holding W into their face. It's a sniper and a medic. You have Uber. Please go forward. So you could have already wiped their combo by now, but now it's too late. You hesitated. So now just stop, slow down, and let it even out. Hopefully you guys recognize that you no longer have ad. Soldier's trying to... Oh, your demo's alone in lobby. He dies. So you were over near 5. Do you remember like what you were trying to do over there? Just peek, get the sentry? What were you trying to do? Or were you trying to actually push?
I don't remember what I was doing. Can you go to my POV?
Yeah, sure. So this was right after their sniper was peek and roll out in that 3v3. They end up getting their spawners. You peek roll out, you get sniped. You know they have a sniper on the left side. You're entering lobby. Sniper's still on the left. You start moving to 5. So what do you think was your intention there? What were you trying to accomplish?
I guess I may have been seeing if we could get through 5 for free, and just was not aware of how far away I was from my teammates. I don't know
Okay.
what else I would be doing.
Okay. Well, I could see that maybe that's what you're trying to do. I think it was a questionable call, given that you knew where the sniper was. You're choosing to walk in. For one, you have to cross this sight line, and then you're choosing to basically pin yourself down on the other side of the map against a sniper. So what I would have preferred is that if you were going to try to like get in, it would have been more of a like direct attack on the sniper. You guys actually do end up sacking here. So maybe you were just trying to distract for the sack. I'm not sure, but that probably would have been the better play, is like trying to sort of peek the sniper maybe a little like this, put a little bit of pressure on him, and then have people go like right into his face. Okay, so you guys take this Uber. They're down numbers, so this should be fine. Okay. But yeah, when you were in lobby, I think everyone else was like afraid of crossing this sight line. You just like committed across. I don't think they wanted to. So it probably would have been necessary for you to like pressure the sniper a little bit first if you wanted to cross that. Okay. Next mid. Good rocket there. Your roamer is extremely weak. He probably is gonna die. So he's dead. So now you guys got to decide if you're gonna stay or leave. If you're gonna trade this out, what's gonna happen? They have a soldier out through IT. Okay, so you have a 5v5 on mid. So that scout is weak as fuck. He got arrowed. Your soldier is now weak. Your demo is weak. Yeah, you guys lost. So you should leave. All right, you're retreating. Stickies. Stickies on the door. In the choke. Stickies. 0 stickies. 0. They're through. So now they're just flooding
So
in.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I should be willing to like take that risk even if I'm like 100, like 150 health, 130 health, if it slows them down, or like what's the risk
I'm
calculus there?
I'm not saying you stand your ground at choke. What I'm saying is this whole time you're retreating, you lay
Be
these 2
putting
stickies
stickies.
here. Like, why are they not in the choke, and why det them? Like, you, and then at this point you're retreating and you're not shooting these stickies. You're just reloading. So I think you're putting
Okay.
too much emphasis on like wanting to be fully loaded, but what you're setting yourself up for is an extremely difficult fight, because now you're giving them all this space. They can spread out in 10 different directions. And now, you know, you have 8 stickies, but how are you going to contain the enemy team? You're just going to get collapsed on and they're going to surround you. So I would rather those 2 stickies go on the choke. Every sticky reload from then on goes on the choke. and you're just focused on holding that door. If these two people got in, whatever, but their combo would never be able to get through the door because you're holding them there and you're trusting your scout to like kill these unhealed players. So that's what it really is about. Is you need to focus. Your job is put stickies on the choke. That is your job. Do your job. If you stop doing your job, no one else can do their job, because now people that shouldn't be able to get healed and shouldn't have demo support are getting demo support and heals, and like there's 8 people on their team focusing your guy when it should only be that 1 or 2 guys that got through. So yeah, just I don't know.
Okay,
It's one of those
that
things
makes
where like
sense.
it needs to be like your number one job. Like anytime you are not doing it, you are playing wrong, and you just need to drill that into your head.
All right, thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are holding last. You have even Ubers. And okay, if there's ever a time where you can't trap the door, you need to say that. But the thing that annoys me is when that situation we just watched, if you would have said, I can't trap it, and it's like, I can see these 6 different opportunities you could have trapped it, that's what starts annoying me. And, you know, maybe your teammates would get annoyed by that too. So if you're not able to trap it because like you had to jump out or something, then fair enough. But if you just retreated through the choke, reloaded all of your stickies, and tell me you can't trap it, you're coping, you're lying. So yeah. So just whenever you can trap it, you should be trapping it. If you can't because you had to jump out, whatever, then your team might want to decide in that moment to like leave if they can't hold their ground. So that's the other thing to be careful about, is if it's ever going to be one of those scenarios where you can't trap the door, then your team may want to just sort of cut their losses and not get too greedy to try to stay. Because if you try to fight a 4v6 and you guys are all back here, you might just get bombed and collapsed on. So, yeah. All right, so it's just the last hold. You're sacking into lobby to get the demo, okay. So one thing I don't like about this, again, your sentry's on the left, your med's on the right, your sniper's peeking lobby and your med's on the right. I would prefer you guys to really support this sniper play and this sack into lobby. You guys are kind of just sitting back here, and who knows what could have happened with that. Like, your roamer could have insta-gibbed in lobby, and then they chased your sniper, and now you're 4v6 just sitting here, and then they just spam your sentry. So I would like if you guys support... Oh, well, look at what happened. Your sniper does die. So now you're down 2. Sure, you got the demo, but, like, this is going to be better for them. Okay. So yeah, now they're just going to destroy the sentry, then they're going to bait cap, and then you guys are going to pop first. That's my prediction. Okay, I have no idea what the fuck they're doing. So you guys actually ended up milking. They let your heavy walk on the point, so you get a good counter pop, or a good, yeah, counter pop. You get 2 kills. They're all retreating lobby. Absolute nuke. Where's the chase? Surely all 4 of these people aren't allowed to walk away after that. Oh, no. Okay. So what is with this routing? Let's see everyone's like perspective on this chase. Okay. So who do they have? They have 2 scouts and medic in lobby. Your soldier right here can see them in lobby. He sees your soldier go into lobby and hopefully scream at the top of his lungs that they're fucking destroyed or whatever. Your demo sees that happening as well. And instead of just going straight here, continues going roll out. Okay. So they're fucked in lobby. And instead of going straight here to pinch them in lobby, you guys both start moving like in this direction towards the point when you had like an entire wipe on their combo available to you guys. Okay. But then what happened to your scout? Because he also swapped off heavy, and he should have known that there was this nuke in lobby, and then he does not go straight there. Oh, he just swapped too late. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So I think the big just question mark there is why, when you saw your guy in lobby committed, and they're all caught there, why did you guys go roll out instead of directly in to close out those kills?
I think I went too because I was thinking that I could trap them out, like catch them as they were leaving lower lobby. But instead, they like recommitted through lobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then I guess Hood had the same mindset then, that he's gonna also catch their exit, right?
Yeah, I just assumed they were gonna leave.
Okay. I see. I guess time's about to run out, so we might see a mid-fight. Okay. They're all really stacked on their health pack. It's got some roof. Okay. Only vulnerability here is this left side. Could be kind of dangerous if you're set up like this. I've gotten really flanked from the left as a demo. If I don't have anyone watching that, so just be aware that that could happen. This soldier just high bombs. Both your scouts are on the low ground. This mid. This guy counter jumps your soldiers. So you guys destroy that guy. Oh, that should be a med kill. Nice. So now just play heals. Nice. Okay, so you win the mid. Good job. So I think about is post Uber positioning. I don't want you guys to be ending your Uber in the middle of areas like in the low ground where you can get collapsed on from 4 positions. So a lot of times it's going to be on, well, you just want someone to step up and be the one who's going to call that. It could be your medic who just sort of like takes it into his own hands to look out for himself for his post Uber positioning, or it could be your combo scout who's calling where to end each Uber and things like that. But that call should be made before the Uber ends, like where you're going to end it. So if that's not happening, I would like to see you guys implement that. The sense I'm getting is that you guys are only focusing on what to do with the Uber, but you're not focusing on where to end it. Like you keep saying, okay, kill this guy, then kill this guy, then kill this guy, but you're not really talking about stabilizing for the post Uber or anything like that. I could be wrong, but that's the way it looked, just based on the fact that you guys are ending in the middle of the open.
No, that's right. That's right. We
Yeah.
haven't been focusing on.
Okay. So there's those two things, and then small thing, holding last, just having your medic and the sentry sort of like being a little bit more cohesive. And basically on your guys' last holds, it feels like your combo is playing as if you're on disad when you're not a lot of the time. So I think your positioning could be a little bit more flexible or kind of support whatever play is going on. So I'll just
So I can play more
screen share this.
central.
Yeah, for sure.
oftentimes.
Yeah, and this you can have the confidence that the sentry gun is going to cover you. It's like if you guys have a sniper peeking lobby and your sentry's on the left, like your medic is perfectly safe to be right here with him. There's no problem in that. But it feels like right now by default you guys are like kind of just keeping your combo back right up top. So on evens, I think you guys can branch out a little bit. You can move that sentry more central. I personally really like the sentry like right here, because from here it can't be directly spammed from any door except for rollout, and then your demo can just like keep rollout trapped basically, and they'll like have no way to spam that. Or you could have a sniper who's covering it, or yeah, anything like that. So on stalemates, on last holds, I think you guys can be a lot closer, or at least just have your med on the same side as your sentry. If your med does want to play on the right, move your sentry to the right. No problem with that. Because if the sentry was just like tucked right here, they also wouldn't be able to spam it, except from basically 1 or 3, I guess, if they were gonna peek. So you could move the sentry to cover your medic from there too. Could be interesting. Okay, what else? I think that your roamer sometimes is going a little fast, just like committing and dying when you guys have advantages. I think it would be nice if when you guys are like pushing off of like big Uber ads or like your combo can get in for free, if your roamer would try to maybe get in, but in more of a distraction sort of mindset. Like what was happening is your roamer would get in, they're all stacked on their IT, and your roamer's like landing right in front of their face, trying to get a kill, but he just instantly dies. But if he would have gotten in through IT and then like maybe jumped over here or something, or jumped into their sewer behind, now they're gonna start panicking because now you're potentially flanking them, so they're going to be like tempted to leave. But when you commit into their face, they're going to be tempted to stay because they're going to kill you. They're going to now have a little bit more wiggle room with their numbers, and they're going to be looking to get behind you and all that. So I would like your roamer to just be a little bit more careful with just insta feeding when you guys are already pushing off of an advantage. What else? I think on the mid, I would like to see more fade bombs from Hood. I think almost every mid you kind of just stood around spamming. When their team was like at the breaking point, all you needed was just that little push to make them leave or to like bait someone out of position for another kill. But you just kept letting them crawl back into the mid every time. So yeah, I think that would help. My mindset lately when I play pocket, my roamer really likes doing a lot of fast rollouts. So I've had to sort of wire the way I want to play the mids to really just be focusing on staying alive, but trying to do a lot of fade bombs to stall the enemy team. Because if we sit back, if my roamer is weak early, then for one, I can't go aggressive because I'm just going to be a solo bomber and that's not going to be effective. And two, they might try to push forward off of him being weak and pressured. So my job is really just to stall the enemy team and buy a little bit of time for us to restabilize. And the early damage that my roamer's getting, potentially, we can build upon that if we keep the enemy team stalled. So I think that's kind of the majority of things. And I guess kind of the last thing just to think about in general is like, you don't need to try to come up with super fancy like Ubers if you can just like Uber straight into people's face with ad. Like if they're caught at choke, you didn't need to go IT. You could have just Ubered right in their face. Or if they're caught at choke, you don't need to go sewer. Just Uber right into their face. Things like that would be just a lot more streamlined and just efficient, and you'd get the thing that you want to get done more consistently, basically. So yeah, I think that's for the most part. Oh, and then spotting on last. I think almost every last push you guys went in blind. So I think your scout should be looking to get buffed, and then while everyone else is getting buffed, you're spotting. Usually, if you're around 65, 75%, that's a great time for your scout to be looking for that info. You don't want to be doing it at 90. You want to be doing it a little bit earlier. Because even if you know like one piece of information, where's the sentry? Where's the sticky traps? Where's the sniper? Any one piece of information could completely change the way you want to push, and will give you just a more like intentional last push rather than just like doing something blind that's very like textbook. Because every team expects a textbook Uber. They're always going to be prepared for that. That's why that sentry is tucked at that spawn the way it is, because he's thinking every team just Ubers through 4 blind, and they won't know the sentry's here. So it's going to buy me a couple more seconds. It's going to take them longer to destroy the sentry. But imagine if you peeked, you knew exactly where the sentry was early, you could have destroyed it in a much swifter method or avoided it, or, just that kind of thing. So that's going to apply to every single map. And that's something that's mostly going to be in the hands of your combo scout. Other people can collect info too, but I personally consider that to be a combo scout job. And the perfect timing is just when everyone's getting buffed before your push, that's when you take your buff and you start getting info, because you're going to get backloaded on heals. You're taking the Uber, etc. You don't necessarily need to be like perfectly buffed the whole time. So yeah. Any questions then, guys?
No, I just want to say thank you for the clarification before. I've never thought about putting stickies down like while I'm backtracking, or haven't thought about it intentionally. So
Okay. Yeah.
that should be really helpful.
Yeah. I honestly, there were so many scenarios where if you would have applied that, it would have really stalled the enemy team. So hopefully, yeah, once you start getting the hang of that, it does take a lot of like discipline. It's so tempting as a demo to reload your pipes first, or to want to be fully loaded, but if you look at the bigger picture and just know that your job is to trap the doors and your team's job is to kill the guys in, I think it'll make things a lot better. So I think that one tip will go a long way for you for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. All right then. So I think that unless anyone else has any questions, we can wrap it up here. I was gonna schedule one last session with Hood for Tuesday, I believe. But yeah, otherwise, I think you guys were going to just finish out the season, and then maybe I'll see you guys again someday. But I'll always be around. If you guys want to enlist my mentoring again, I'd be happy to work with you guys in the future. So good luck, and I'll hopefully see you guys around and rising up the ranks.
Cool. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Cool. Peace.
Peace.